What's up guys, my name is Stephanie. I am your Florida mortgage gal, and today I am coming to you hot with some things that I'm keeping my eye on in the Florida market for 2023. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing I want to jump into today is home insurance. So home insurance has had one heck of a tumultuous path over the last few years and has changed a lot. Not only do we have a lot of hurricanes in the past few years, Hurricane Ian, from everything that I've heard, has more insurance claims than Hurricane Katrina. And while Florida is only about 8% of the insurance policies out there, we are over 80% of the lawsuits against carriers. So that is a staggering number. Obviously, it's very expensive to be a home insurance company in Florida. So one thing that we're seeing a lot of is a lot of turnover in the home insurance industry. That is going to cause some big waves when it comes to purchasing a home, especially for the South Florida area. So you have the Tri-County area, which is Miami-Dade County, Broward, and Palm Beach County. Now, those of you that know me know that I operate out of Palm Beach County and Seminole County in Central Florida. So I definitely feel the pain of a lot of my South Floridians when you are trying to get a home and then you get their home insurance quotes back and they are so expensive. This next year, something that we're going to have to keep an eye on top of it. So Citizens is the #1 insurance carrier in Florida. They've been put into place by the state in order to help make sure that every Floridian has access to home insurance. The problem is that now Citizens has been taking on way too many customers because not only are they the only option for some people, sometimes they're a lot cheaper than the second best option. And now Citizens is going to be unveiling some new policies this year. I'm still talking to my home insurance buddies to see exactly what they're going to be. But from everything that I hear, if there's another option behind Citizens that's just a little bit more expensive, some people are telling me 20%, some people are telling me 50%, as long as that other policy, that second option, is close enough to the Citizens policy, or I should say it the other way, if Citizens is not far enough cheaper than the next best policy, they're gonna force you to take the more expensive policy. So something to look out for there. Citizens is also unveiling some new policies as far as flood insurance and what's required. So stay tuned for all that. Just something to be very mindful of. Something that's getting a lot of attention from Governor DeSantis and other officials because they really want to make sure that we are able to keep the economy moving as far as real estate in Florida this year. So when you have insurance buckle like it has been, and then you have taxes starting to subsidize insurance, at least the government placed insurance like Citizens, just something I'm keeping my eye on. Second thing, biggest one, interest rates. Obviously, that's been a hot topic throughout 2022. That being said, we really have no idea what's going to be coming down the pipe for 2023. It could be a year where it just kind of brings us back to normal, but my take on interest rates. So interest rates, historically, the lowest they ever hit was around that 4% mark for the average buyer. In 2020, after the pandemic, the government was trying to stimulate the economy, and what did they do? They artificially sat on interest rates to make money cheaper so that we could stimulate that spending. So when that happened, we saw interest rates that were never before seen in the United States and historic lows. I mean, I was writing some at 2%, even a couple at the 1-point-something%. Like, it was crazy. And so all these people were getting this 2 and the 3% interest rates. We've been kind of spoiled. And I do think that interest rates will come down, whether it's in 2023, 2024, or even 2025, where they're going to come back to that 4% mark to give everyone a little bit of a reprieve. So what I think is going to happen is once the economy settles down a little bit, inflation starts leveling out, the job reports come back, or the CPI, we can have a whole nother conversation of what all that means. But once the economy starts leveling out, because at the end of the day, the reason rates are up high right now, or why they've raised rates, is to bring down inflation, or at least attempt to do so. When you make money more expensive, people stop treating it like water. When people treat money like water is when you have times of high inflation. So until inflation comes down and money's a little bit more scarce, they're going to keep interest rates high. So I don't know how long that's going to take for it to trickle through the economy, but I do think that that's something that's going to happen either the later bit of 2023, 2024, or 2025. So we'll stay tuned for all of that. I'm definitely keeping my eye on all of that because there are so many people in the past couple years that have definitely had to take higher mortgage payments to get a house, period. Third thing I am keeping my eye on in 2023 is the different markets inside of Florida. So Florida has had a lot of shifts in desirable areas. There's a lot of gentrification in different parts of Florida that you never saw before. Like I said earlier, I'm from Central Florida area. The whole area by my parents, they're in Lake Mary, Florida. And in that area, there used to be nothing. It was woods. You would drive past and there's so much brush and farmers and goats and sheep and whatever it is and cows. And now there's 3 or 4 hospitals within a couple miles of their house. There's new highways and roads and bridges. So definitely looking as more of an investor into some areas that are meeting that, you know, hotels, highways, and hospitals, middle points. When you find a property or you find multiple properties, you're looking to invest in some properties for long-term rentals, for example, whether it's Airbnb or otherwise, I always love looking for those 3 H's, the hospital, hotels, and highways, because the people that have done the due diligence for all 3 of those on the government level, private level, whatever it is, those are going to be great meccas for where you want to have your rentals. So definitely something I'm keeping my eye on, and for areas all around Florida, and otherwise you can look for the same thing all around the country. But you know, I'm the Florida Mortgage Gal, so I'm going to give you more Florida-based advice, but it's something that definitely applies across the nation regardless. All right, so those are the things that I'm going to be keeping my eye on for 2023. Hopefully you guys found a little bit of value in it so that you can keep on investing and live your best lives. Take care. Bye.